Grand Admiral Zex Kalua stood before the massive view screen on the command deck of the Inevitable Conquest, flagship of the Drahonian Empire's 7th Expansion Fleet. His scaled hands were clasped behind his back, 6 eyes narrowed, as he studied the small blue-green planet rotating slowly in the display. Unremarkable, he concluded, mandibles clicking softly, oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere, carbon-based ecosystem, single dominant species with primitive technology. Standard conquest protocol should suffice. The Drahonian Empire had expanded across 17 sectors of the galaxy over the past 3 millennia. Their method was efficient and predictable: identify resource-rich worlds, assess indigenous populations, and incorporate them into the Empire either as subjects or, if resistance proved troublesome, as cautionary examples. Preliminary scans complete, Admiral, reported Science Director Mevloth, her delicate tendrils dancing over the sensor controls. The inhabitants call it Earth. They've achieved nuclear fission, rudimentary space travel within their own system, and global communication networks. Technological development rate suggests they're approximately 75 standard cycles from achieving faster-than-light capability. Perfect timing, Zex Kalua rumbled approvingly. Early enough that resistance will be minimal, developed enough that they'll understand the futility of opposition. He turned to his second-in-command. Commander the Vex, prepare a standard first contact package. Show of force, followed by terms of surrender. The usual arrangement. Yes, Admiral. The commander's claws danced across the control surface. Deployment of intimidation vessels in 3, 2. A shrill alarm cut through the command deck. Every screen flashed with the same warning sigil, ancient, rarely seen, but instantly recognized by every member of the crew. RESTRI, CT, EDZ, ONEP, ROTE, CT, ORA, TEU, EEU, ST, EE, EAEAE. Impossible, Zex Kalua hissed, all 6 eyes widening. There are no protectorate worlds in this sector. The expansion charts show this entire region as unclaimed. Science Director Mevloth worked frantically at her station. Confirmed, Admiral. The warning originated from a sentinel beacon. Authentication codes. Her voice faltered. Authentication codes are Category Alpha. The beacon predates the Empire itself. A heavy silence fell over the command deck. Every officer knew the implications. Throughout the galaxy, ancient beacons had been discovered by various civilizations' technological artifacts left by a species known only as the predecessors, who had vanished millions of years before any current species achieved spaceflight. Display the full message, Zex Kalua ordered, his voice unnaturally quiet. The view screen shifted, ancient symbols scrolling across it before translating into modern Drahonian. A TTENT, IONA LSAP, IEENT, CIV, ILIZ, AT, IONSA, PLAEEE, DEESIG, ENATIONSOL3, LOC, ALDESIG, NATIONEARTA, CLASSIF, ICEA TIONEV ULAU, TIONARYPUSERV, ST, a TUSA, BUSOL, UTERE, EEETION, WARNINGNONINT, ERFEREAAU, CEP, ROTOC, OLSI, ENEF, FACT, PEENALT, YFORV, IOLAT, IONE, ENFOR, CE, EME, NT, RE, ESP. Evolutionary preserve? Commander the Vex's scales flattened against his neck in confusion. The inhabitants appear to be ordinary bipedal mammals. What possible evolutionary significance could they have? Admiral Zex Kalua's expression had darkened. In 3,000 years of imperial expansion, only twice had Drahonian forces encountered planets marked with predecessor beacons. Both instances had ended poorly for those who ignored the warnings. "Withdraw the fleet to the outer system boundary," he ordered. "Maintain observation protocols only. No signals, no probes, no contact." "Admiral?" Commander the Vex questioned, clearly startled by the order to retreat. "The directive comes from something that was already ancient when our ancestors were still climbing out of the swamps," Commander Zex Kalua snapped. "We will comply while we investigate." Over the next 30 days, the Drahonian fleet maintained its distance, passively observing Earth, while specialists pored over the information contained in the Sentinel beacon. The ship's xenobiologists and evolutionary theorists worked around the clock, trying to understand what made this seemingly ordinary world special enough to warrant predecessor protection. Admiral Zex Kalua had summoned the fleet's highest-ranking officers to the Situation Room. The atmosphere was tense as Science Director Mevloth prepared to present her findings. "We've completed our analysis of the beacon's data core," she began, her tendrils unusually still a sign of deep concern among her species. "It appears the predecessors designated Earth as one of 37 evolutionary nexus points across the galaxy." "Explain," the Admiral commanded. Mevloth activated a holographic display showing a complex web of genetic markers and evolutionary pathways. "According to the beacon, the planet's biosphere has an unusual property. The rate of random genetic mutation among Earth species is approximately 3.7 times higher than galactic standard." Commander the Vex leaned forward. "Is that not inefficient? Most mutations are detrimental." "Precisely," Mevloth continued, "but the few beneficial mutations accumulate at an accelerated rate. Earth's evolutionary pressures are intense. The beacon contains records indicating that Earth has experienced 5 mass extinction events, each eliminating between 70–95% of all species. Yet, after each catastrophe, biodiversity returned even stronger, with more complex organisms. And the dominant species? These humans, the Admiral asked. That's where it becomes concerning." Mevloth's tendrils twisted in agitation. "They appear to be the current endpoint of this accelerated evolutionary process. Their neural architecture is remarkable. The beacon data suggests their brains are evolved for pattern recognition and adaptive response at levels exceeding most known species." Fleet strategist Cordaz, who had been quiet until now, suddenly spoke. "Are you suggesting these primitives are somehow—" "Not superior," Mevloth corrected quickly. "Different. Their evolutionary path was shaped by survival on a planet that repeatedly tried to kill them. Most species evolve for stability, humans evolve for adaptation itself." Admiral Zex Kalua stared thoughtfully at the image of Earth rotating in the holographic display. "And the predecessors deemed this worthy of preservation." "There's more," Mevloth said quietly. "The beacon contains a predictive model of human development. If it's accurate, they are expected to advance from their current technological state to interstellar capability in less than 100 years. "Impossible," scoffed Commander Vex. "The Drahonian Empire took nearly 1,000 years to develop from atomic power to fold space technology." "As did most species," Mevloth agreed. "That's the point. Something about human cognition, their neural architecture, their social structures, or some combination accelerates technological innovation exponentially rather than linearly." A heavy silence fell over the chamber as the implications became clear. "The predecessors weren't protecting Earth from us," Admiral Zex Kalua finally said, his voice barely above a whisper. "They were protecting the galaxy from Earth." Fleet strategist Cordaz's scales darkened with alarm. Then we should eliminate the threat now, while they're vulnerable. Predecessor warnings or not. No. Admiral Zex Kalua's voice cut through the room like a blade. The predecessors had technology that could move stars. If they chose preservation rather than elimination, they had reasons beyond our comprehension. He stood, towering over the assembled officers. We will withdraw from this system immediately. All records of Earth's location will be classified at the highest level. No Drahonian vessel will approach this world again. And if the humans eventually develop interstellar travel, Commander the Vex asked. Admiral Zex Kalua's 6 eyes blinked in sequence, a gesture of philosophical acceptance among his kind. Then we will meet them as equals, not conquerors. He turned to gaze one last time at the image of Earth, and hope they evolved wisdom along with their adaptability. As the inevitable conquest and its fleet prepared to depart the Sol system, Admiral Zex Kalua stood alone on the observation deck. The distant blue-green dot that was Earth seemed unremarkable against the backdrop of countless stars. Yet something about it, something the predecessors had recognized millions of years ago, warranted extraordinary measures. Remarkable, he murmured to himself, that after 3,000 years of conquest, we finally found something that conquers our ambition, uncertainty about what might emerge from that small blue world. The massive engines of the flagship hummed to life, and the Drahonian fleet slipped away into the darkness, leaving Earth untouched, unaware of how close it had come to conquest, and how closely it would now be watched from afar.